Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Way of the Ninja! Possibly racist, maybe. Whatever, here we go! Mistweaver Monk. Why is the Mistweaver the first for the complete overview of the healers? I fucking love this thing, man. This is easily my favourite healer, with Dis a close second. But that doesn't mean, inherently, that there's anything wrong with the other ones. It's just that the other ones are kind of like the same as they were. Yeah, they're the same as they were. There's some slight twists here and there, but ultimately they're pretty happy with their gameplay, and there's nothing wrong with that either. That just means they were in a good place to start with. But Monks have had a whole heap of overhauls, right? There's no chi anymore. They're going with a different style of fist weaving. It still exists. They're going with like straight up healer mechanics, but kind of not. And ultimately, with the content that's mainly been available, which is the 5-man dungeons. See, I've been in the queue here for about 30 minutes. They're amazing. They're so much fucking fun. They really are. And when it comes to the challenge modes and stuff, if I was going to do the challenge modes as a healer, as long as it's viable in terms of like healing output, I would certainly be rocking the fucking Mistweaver because I just have a blast with it, an absolute blast with it. So we're gonna go over with everything today. I've played this one the most, probably I would say even probably close to pushing 18 hours. You've probably seen some Mistweaver footage in the dungeon videos I've done, but I was an undead. I just had to remake my Mistweaver yet again. Ugh, Legion. Although they have opened up another realm, which means I should be able to get one of every spec done now, because I have 2 Legion accounts, thankfully. Blizzard keeps sending them me. I know, I'm not bragging. They just do. I've not asked for them or anything. They just keep sending them me. So we should be good to go now. We're sticking with one class, but this is level 100. I've only just done the artifact quest just to demonstrate this stuff for you, so you get a grip of what's going on. Now then, the Mistweaver. What's changed? As I said, no chi. That's gone. Mana tea and stacks. Gone. Lots of stuff that's gone that was kind of like the core fundamentals of the Mistweaver. That means that some people might like that style of play and come to this one and be like, oh, it's kind of a straight-up healer now in terms of just like mana. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. And that's cool. That's okay to feel that way. Big change, always somebody going to not dislike it, yeah? One thing I'm not really going to touch on here, and there's good reason for it, is how effective are they going to be in raids? Why? Raids at the moment are kind of fucking stupid. In fact, a lot of the testing is stupid. If you have a character that has like a lot of artifact stuff, the numbers and stuff are just way out of whack. Although you get scaled up, the artifacts don't seem to be taken into account in many cases. And we've seen like 40k DPS discrepancies between 2 people of similar skill playing the same spec, but because of artifact power, it's really gone wonky. Utility is always a question, but ultimately that's kind of stuff that's going to come at the end. Utility, probably not. But ultimately, it's going to come down to your raid setup. And if you're not at the very sort of bleeding edge of Mythic, then it probably won't be a big deal for you. They're not going to turn down a healer in, say, a Flex Heroic or a Flex Normal because you're a Mistweaver, right? Unless they already have one or whatever. That's unlikely to happen. So I'm not really going to touch on that stuff. That's like, it's too early in the development to really get into that. What I am going to talk about is how it plays, how fun it is, and then we're going to do a dungeon together, and you can see it all in action. And hopefully I can demonstrate for you why this thing is just non-stop, switching it up, very fresh all the time. It's really not a case of... there's a lot of healers, and every time I've done a healer guide, I've always said, if you're a healer who, like, just looks at the health bars not moving, because you can cast, like, a hot, like I could cast a Renewing Mist, and that'll take care of everything, and then you just kind of derp around, fucking have a jerk-off, start browsing Pornhub or whatever, then I think you're really missing out on a lot of opportunity to play your class to the fullest, because you can absolutely switch your game up, and a good player of a Mistweaver will always be doing something. Always. Now, unfortunately, in raids, that does tend to be just straight-up healing for most part, right? You tend to be limited in the tools offered to you as a class as a whole. In a raid, that tends to get limited in terms of maximizing, like, healing output, depending on the scenario. So 5-mans and stuff are where healers, for me, really shine, because you can use all the toolkit much more regularly. And I think that's a lot more fun than generally in raids. That's why I don't really raid on a healer. You tend to have all these extra cool things that you don't tend to get to use as often as you'd like. So, what do we have then? We still have Enveloping Mist. It's expensive, you know, it's big dick DPS, or big dick HPS, I should say. Really 10,000 mana for that, but it's fucking powerful, man. Oh god, it's powerful. You drop this on a tank, your tank's probably going to be fine. It's going to be really cool. So it's going to cost you, it's a 40 head range, it's a 1.6 second cast. We have a new spell called Diffuse. That's your fast, efficient spell. You're not really going to use this, interestingly enough. You're not really going to use that too often unless you try and mix it up with something else. Renewing Mist is something that's changed now, okay? So Renewing Mist, instead of having like the stacks that jump around, what happens now is it gives them a hot. But if it heals target past maximum health, so if you throw it on somebody who's got max HP, it'll just move off to somebody else. Okay, it'll be like, this guy doesn't need healing. I'll go and find somebody who needs healing. So in most cases, you can throw it on people, or you can throw it on the tank and it'll start jumping around and doing its own thing. It's still something you want to keep on cooldown, because if you look at the bottom of that tooltip there, each time Renewing Mist heals, so it actually heals, which it'll automatically go and find somebody to do, it has a 4% chance to increase the healing of your next Vivify. Now you're going to say, 4% fucking blows. Well, you've got to bear in mind that this thing lasts 20 seconds with an 8-second cooldown. So it's the same mechanic that you had since Mists of Pandaria. It's the same mechanic that you've had in Walls of Draenor. It's just keeping Renewing Mist on cooldown because it's actually proccing Vivify is the main bonus of it, as well as the hot healing, yeah? So what the fuck is Vivify, Preacher? Vivify is a group heal. It's kind of like Binding Heal, except it heals some other people as well. It causes a surge of invigorating mists around the target, heals them and their 2 nearest injured allies. So it will look for people who are lacking health. And it heals for only 15k for 6,000 mana, which doesn't seem a great deal when you say that Enveloping Mist is 10,000 mana, but 98,000 healing. But of course, it's going to be proccing. Yeah, you're going to get all the extra bonus from there, and it's healing 3 people at the same time. It's a very cool spell. Nice group heal, especially like 5-mans and stuff, where, you know, two of the range didn't take any damage, but the tank and the 2 melee did, right? And so you want to heal those 3 people. Vivify makes sense in that environment. And you've got to remember, there are a lot of things that make sense in like a 5-man environment because of the emphasis on challenge modes come Legion, so it makes a lot of sense. AoE heal, then, it comes in 2 forms. We still have Spinning Crane Kick. Whee! But we also have a new spell called Essence Font. Essence Font is very cool. It's very cool. It just fires these, like, it's basically the big Bukkake, is what it is. I can't help but feel that way. It looks like that. It unleashes a rapid twirl of healing bolts to up to 6 allies, so only 6 people, and heals them every 2.5 seconds. Every 1 second for 2.5 seconds. Each bolt heals the target for various amounts. So if you have to heal the whole group, you're generally going to, especially if they're spread out, you're going to go with Essence Font. But it is 30,000 mana. Again, it's expensive. Okay? So bear in mind, there are some possibilities here that you have to hold back sometimes. With your Mistweaver, you do have to hold back. But that's okay. So the way they've countered that, I heal this friend here, is with this. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, and this is entirely subjective. I fucking hate this. So this is like your relaxed, not costing you a lot of mana heal. Yeah? It's Soothing Mist. Soothing Mist just channels when you use a main spell. So if you use a Fuse, use Enveloping Mist. If I Enveloping Mist this guy, you can see it'll go straight. Oh, it's Enveloping Mist myself. You see I'm Soothing Misting myself there. Yeah? And it just naturally channels, which means you have to cast a spell to activate it, and it'll just keep going. You see, it lasts fucking forever, right? It lasts forever, and it'll just keep channeling healing into them. This is kind of one of the most horrible spells for me. Sometimes when I want to use it, I'm casting a spell I don't really need to cast and wasting mana just to get this thing to get started. I'm going to talk about ways this could be changed, but ultimately some people might like this, especially if you are a guy who doesn't want to get in the thick of things and kind of wants to just chill out and relax. So if you are like of the mindset that, you know what, fuck it, I just want to heal the tank with an Enveloping Mist, and I'm just going to fucking AFK, look at Netflix or whatever, while my Soothing Mist channels into him. And that's what it's there for, okay? That's what it does. So you do have this extra heal, and it's activated by using one of your other healing spells. Won't work on Renewing Mist, as you can see there, but will work on Vivify, will work on Infuse, will work on Enveloping Mist. Yeah? Will work on all those spells. Okay. What else do we have then? We still have Revival. We still have Life Cocoon, okay? Usefulness in a raid. I mean, Revival heals for like 40k. I have 332,000 health. A 3-minute cooldown. It's so bad, it's funny. I've used this like in an emergency scenario and gone, oh right, what the fuck? It does remove all magical poison disease effects, which of course can be a harmful situation sometimes, depending on the scenario. So you have to bear in mind that sometimes, you know, you don't want to dispel things, and yeah, that can end up really badly. On top of this, we have what is going to be a much more important, not that it wasn't important previously, but a much more regularly used and important priority in your rotation, which is the Thunder Focus Tea. A Jolt of Energy. It's only a 30-second cooldown, and it empowers your next 2 spell casts. So with Renewing Mist, it doesn't trigger a cooldown. So what you would do with this, in general, what I've been doing with this, because I use a certain talent, is my Renewing Mist off cooldown. Cool. So I'll pop my brew, I'll Renew Mist so it doesn't get a cooldown. Then I'll go ahead and I'll use a different spell in the meantime, and then Renewing Mist somebody else, and then start the cooldown on it. This means I get a couple of them rocking and I get the benefit of something else. But that's down to a talent. But generally speaking, what does it do? A Renewing Mist doesn't trigger its cooldown. A Fuse's healing is increased by 150%. Yeah, that's your single target go-to small heal. Your Enveloping Mist is instant cast, which is quite nice, like almost like a Nature Swiftness there. And Essence Font is castable while moving, and Vivify is free. So you have all kinds of options there. So this kind of replaces Mana Tea, essentially. You're going to be using this so often and get lots of benefits out of it that you should save on mana elsewhere, right? So if you're using a Fuse that's really powerful, then you're not going to probably need to cast another heal after that, is the general idea. So you save a heal, because you're getting 150% bonus from there. Vivify is expensive, but if you use it with Thunder Focus Tea, it's free. So you save a lot of mana there. So you get the idea there. Cool. Awesome. Excellent. Let's move on. We still have things like Diffuse Magic. We still have Crackling Jade Lightning. If we want to go full on Sith, we can do that. Bzzz. Not that I can hit these targets. Bzzz. And then we have DPS spells. So what do we have? We have Tiger Palm. Yeah, which is no cooldown, instant, doesn't cost anything. We have Rising Sun Kick, costs 3,500 mana, yeah, with a 10-second cooldown. Big deck DPS from that. And we have Blackout Kick. Now, Blackout Kick is something that can reset Rising Sun Kick. So you're going to think, oh shit, Mistweaving's back, bro. Awesome. Yeah, Mistweaving does exist, and it's actually quite cool. And even if you're not using the Mistweaving talents, which do exist, then you still want to get in there and do some DPS. If everyone's at full health, you should be fucking running in and doing some big dick DPS, yeah? So, Tiger Palm, when it actually hits, will in fact increase the damage of Rising Sun Kick or Blackout Kick. So you want to use your Tiger Palm first, get the buff, then go into a Rising Sun Kick, then go into a Tiger Palm, buff your Blackout Kick, and so on and so forth, and you'll rotate between. So you have like 2 global cooldowns for Blackout Kick cooldown, and 10 seconds for Rising Sun Kick. Something you need to bear in mind. Finally, we have our artifact weapon, of course. What's it called? Shilun's Gift, I think? Yeah, Shilun. The Staff of the Mist. What does it do? It gives you an extra heal. So what you'll notice is while I'm in combat, you're probably noticing little green pools of shit located around me. Now, while you're in combat, you see another one spawn there. While you're in combat, these fucking clouds will just randomly spawn. Well, not randomly. I think there's like a 10 or 12 second cooldown. There you go. We've got another one there. So we've got 4 now. We've actually got 5. There's another one somewhere sneaking around the place, wherever it might be. I can only see 4, but I'm sure you guys can see it, and I'm just not spotting it. But you'll see here, actually, on the spell that we get, which is Shilun's Gift, you can see it's got a 6 next to it. What the fuck does that mean? There's another cloud. 7. It draws all the clouds. So this spell is affected by how many of these clouds you actually have, and just does a big heal. Each cloud of mist absorbs increases the healing amount by, I think it's, what, 150% each? Something along those lines. Is it written here? But either way, it stacks up to 12, I believe. I've had it up to 12 and not gone further than that. And basically, it's just a big heal. It has no cooldown, but of course, its effectiveness is derived by clouds. So the more clouds you have, the more effective it is. Which means if you use it at like 2 clouds, it ain't that good. It's not that great at all. But you want to save it for getting like 10 clouds, 11 clouds, 12 clouds. And then you have this big sort of very quick, so 1.65 second cast emergency heal. That's basically what it is. We're about to hit 12. I'm curious. I don't think it goes past 12. I'm sure 12 is the cap. I remember doing that in my playtesting. So that's your artifact weapon. Is it interesting? You know what? That's down to you. You know what I mean? It's just a flat-out heal. You can't use it, like, every time you want it, because it really depends on the clouds, right? Without the clouds, it's not that cool. You might as well use a fuse at that point. But generally speaking, it's just an extra straight-up heal that doesn't have some sort of weird mechanic. Nearly everything here has some interesting mechanic or odd tooltip bonus, you know what I mean? So Vivify works in a certain way. Essence Font works in a certain way. Renewing Mist and Enveloping Mist work in a certain way. And a Fuse is kind of like the bog standard. And then they just threw in Shilun's Gift as kind of like, you know what? There's a big powerful heal should you need it. Alright? That's how it works. So let's go into the talents then. So we get an idea of what's going on. This talent system is fucking cool. It's cool. It's not completely worked out. There are some shitters in here, but generally speaking, it's very fucking cool. I really enjoy it. So I would, so we got Chi Burst still remains. You know what Chi Burst is. Mistwalk, I've used this quite a lot, but I'm not really seeing the benefit. So you can charge to somebody. It's kind of like Intervene, but this time you dash to an ally and heal them for 23,000 every 20 seconds. To get the most out of this, I found myself having to use it on cooldown. Now, as I've mainly done 5-man content with this guy, Zen Pulse has been really cool for me, where you trigger a Zen Pulse around an ally. It deals 15,000 damage to all enemies within 8 yards. The ally is then healed for the amount of damage done. So instantly you can feel in your mind, if we're doing something like the Arcway, or we're doing any other dungeon that has big, dirty trash pulls, right? Real nasty shit as well. It's only a 15-second cooldown. So what you do is put out cool damage. It's really useful damage, by the way. And then you give a big heal to your tank. You cast this on the tank is what you do. You cast it on the tank when he's got a big AoE pull going. You get a big heal and do big DPS. This has got like utility written all over it. I much prefer it to Chi Burst. And I much prefer it to Mistweaver. But again, it's a preference. What's best? Doesn't matter. If you don't have a lot of trash mobs, then Zen Pulse isn't going to do shit, right? It's a crappy thing. So you can work out between yourselves. Chi Torpedo still in the game? Way! Tiger's Lust is now basically Hand of Freedom because it increases a friendly target's movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds, removes all roots and snares, you can cast it on yourself as useful, so you can use it as a sprint, or you can remove stuff on somebody else. And Celerity, reduce the cooldown of roll and give you another roll, you know what that is. So, let's get into the cool stuff. Life cycles then. Enveloping Mist reduces the mana cost of Vivify by 50%, and Vivify reduces the mana cost of Enveloping Mist by 15%. It's the most boring of the three, because... you know, you're going to be using these spells. Are you going to be doing like an Enveloping Mist Vivify rotation? No, that makes no sense. Enveloping Mist is a single target spot heal with a big one, right? A big single target heal with a bit of a hot component. And Vivify is a group heal. Are you going to be just switching between these constantly to make the most out of life cycles? No, not really. But you will get the benefit because at some point you're going to be using these two spells anyway. Spirit of the Crane then. Starting to look at a bit of fist weaving here. Tiger Palm causes your next blackout kick or rising sun tick to restore mana. If you're going to be doing a lot of fist weaving, then this is going to be what you're going to take. And you're going to mix it up with another talent later down the line. And then we have Mist Wrap, which increases the enveloping mist duration by 1 second. It's healing bonus by 20%. And you may now channel Soothing Mist while moving. So this is kind of why I have it. If my group's moving down the line, so my tank's getting ready to pull, to go to the next tier, what I do is I'll probably heal him up as we go. And then I can Soothing Mist on the go. As Soothing Mist procs from pretty much everything that we do besides Renewing Mist, then it allows me to move during mechanics and stuff, like I can avoid stuff while keeping my Soothing Mist going, yeah? If you roll, it cancels it, something to bear in mind. But generally speaking, if you want to move out of the way of stuff, then you can still keep healing while you do it. It's reasonably cool to do that. And of course, Enveloping Mist on the tank, having that bonus is always nice as well, particularly in the more difficult 5-man dungeons. Ring of Peace still does what it does, knocking things around. You're generally not going to take that in a PvE scenario for the most part. Leg Sweep, easily the best, right? Classic Leg Sweep. Big fucking dick stun, yeah? Whapping your cock out, slapping everyone in the face, stunning them for 5 seconds while they're impressed by your girth. And then Song of Chi G. God, do I miss charging Oxwave. So much. Now, the cool thing with Song of Chi G, I've been trying it out, or Chi G, or whatever you want to say, is trying to make it work, but it's nowhere near as effective as Leg Sweep, despite the lower cooldown. The problem is it's like a disorientate and fall asleep, so it doesn't really pay off in terms of a big dick stun. But it looks really funny. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but this really looks like a little tuft of pubes to me. It just floats through everything. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. But Leg Sweep is probably your go-to in most scenarios. Healing Elixirs, Diffuse Magic, and Dampen Harm. Still in the game as normal. Right then. Refreshing Jade Wind. Now, the blog post recently, because Refreshing Jade Wind doesn't seem anywhere near as cool as any of the other two. But they're going to make it so that if you're using Refreshing Jade Wind, while it's activated, you will be able to get a bonus to Essence Font, yeah, which is your AoE heal. So if you are using Russian Jade Wind and everyone's clumped up, you're getting the big bonus out of it, your Essence Font will also be allowing you to do some really nice burst healing. Very cool. This is fucking awesome. This lasts forever. It lasts for 45 seconds, man. And this fucking little birdie bastard just runs the fuck around healing people. So it's a 3-minute cooldown. It summons an effigy of Shiji, the Red Crane, for 45 seconds. And Shiji just runs the fuck around like a headless chicken, just healing gangsters. He just charges about the place. So obviously, because of the nature of healing, I can't really show you it here. But I just watch the dungeon. You'll fucking love this thing. It's so cool. He's like, whoa, here we go. Fucking turbo mode. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just heals everybody all over the place. It's fucking so good. For group healing, when you're in those stressful moments, it lasts so long. It takes you all the way through those stressful moments. Instead of it being like a short burst, like a few seconds of okay, but people still getting buried. This guy just runs around for 45 seconds doing mad healing. Love this. I love healing cooldowns that last a certain amount of time. So good. Right, Summon Jade Serpent then. Still here. Our old friend, the Summon Jade Serpent. There he is, in case you missed him. I can't imagine Blizzard ever want to remove this because it's such a wonderful animation. Absolutely wonderful. So you summon a Jade Serpent statue at the target location. When you channel Soothing Mist, the statue will also do that. That's the problem with it for me. Yeah, that's the problem with me. Not that often, or at least in my style of play, let's say, which is like, oh, I don't have to do much healing here, where I might be channeling Soothing Mist. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do some big dick fucking DPS, son. Yeah, man, I'm totally going to do that. I'm going to go in, I'm going to stun things. I'm going to go in and do some other stuff. I've got always other things to do with my Mistweaver, which is why I enjoy it so much. I've always got something to do. This statue just doesn't make sense to me. What I would love if this had a bit of something else on the tooltip, which would be your enveloping mist and vivify, cause your soothing mist to be constant on that target. So, you know, something like that, so that the Soothing Mist isn't reliant on me casting it, but if I take the Summon Jade Serpent statue, I can pick targets. It reduces the amount of spells that proc Soothing Mist, yeah? Or I would even have a cooldown, so I could pick, so you pick it, and then you can go, like, if I do, like, activate Summon Jade Serpent or whatever, and then I pick Enveloping Mist, I drop that on that guy, and my guy will just channel into that. It's not a lot of healing, but it'll be more consistent healing on the tank while I'm doing other things. That might be incredibly overpowered, but it can be balanced in order to make that more effective in certain ways and just how much healing it does. I would love the Jade Serpent statue to not be useless if I'm not doing anything. That's what I'm really saying there. Yeah? I would love for it not to be useless if I'm not doing this, because I don't want to do this. This just channels, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm just jumping around. I'm not pressing buttons. I'm not interacting with the fight in any way. And it just feels like I just hate this mechanic because of that. I hate the fact that essentially you take your hands off the keyboard. It's some nice little extra healing and little hot healing while you're doing the other spells, but ultimately I'm doing all kinds of other shit, and I just don't like it. This is nothing but that. Some of you will love that. That's fine. I just say my personal is, I don't like this. I take my hands off the keyboard and the mouse, and I can, like, just derp around, look at fucking Netflix or whatever. I don't like it. Anyway, so Manatee, you probably spotted this earlier on if you watched this video, but now it's like, I believe Innovate works this way. I could be wrong. There's a spell for one of the healing classes that works this way. It just reduces the mana cost of your spells by 50% for 10 seconds. Okay. Excitement much? Not really. What else do we get? Rising Thunder then. So if you took Spirit of the Crane because you're going to do some fist weaving, you're probably going to take Rising Thunder. Rising Sun Kick resets the cooldown of Thunder Focus Tea. So instead of being a 30-second cooldown, you can get it to a minimum of 9.9 seconds with my gear, or if it procs from Blackout Kick, it'll be reset even more, which means you can put out a lot of free heals, a lot of cool shit while doing fist weaving. Yeah? How good is it? Don't know. Don't care. It's got to be really balanced and renumbered, but this is awesome as a combo. Yeah? You get this combo wombo, you're regenerating mana by doing fist weaving, and also you're getting a lot of Thunder Focus Tea, which, as I said, does a lot of cool things. You can throw out a lot of instant cast Enveloping Mist, a lot of Essence Fonts while moving, some Vivifies that are free, renewing Mist, you can double them up, you can do all sorts of cool stuff with Rising Thunder. It's a really interesting playstyle. My preference, though, personally, is Focused Thunder. Thunder Focus Tea now empowers your next two spells. So that's what I was talking about earlier, is that you can channel it up to get lots of renewing Mists going, and you can mix it in with some free Vivifies, and just on a sort of ever-changing scenario basis, where I'm not doing constant fist weaving, or I'm not doing straight up just flat out raid healing or whatever and having to spam my mana. Focus Thunder just works really well, again, in that 5-man environment, which is just a glory to play on the Mistweaver. It's so fucking fun that I love this combination, because I get to plan off two things, can go and do some fist weaving, can drop back, do some healing, do some double spells with Focus Thunder, get back into the action, and just mix it all up continuously. So let's take one final look at our artifact weapon then. So Shylun's Gift, as you can see, I've just re-rolled this guy. It's not going to stop us getting involved, of course. So you got the general use, inconsequential stuff, I should say, of boosting healing and whatnot as you move through the tree to try and get to the good stuff. Now, the good stuff. What is it? It's Blessing of Yulon. When you use Revival, the Spirit of Yulon appears and grants all allies healed by Revival an additional 30% of the amount Revival healed over 6 seconds. You can kind of tell now why Revival seems pretty shit. Now, you might say that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Why you made it shit? This is how balancing works. Everybody can get every single artifact in this tree. Everybody who has a Mistweaver Monk. So, your Revival has got to be worse because you're going to get this. Right? It has to be. They have to balance around the idea that you're going to get Blessings of Yulon. So they can't have your mega powerful Revival if they're going to give you Blessing of Yulon later on, because that would make it overpowered. So your Revival is just flat out weak sauce until you get this, right? Now, using this at level 110, which I had the opportunity to do, Revival wasn't so bad. I did lots of stuff on my level 110 Mistweaver when it was available for PvE, and Revival was much, much better. Much, much better. So that's why your Revival sucks dick. Okay, the Mists of Shylun. Shylun. When you heal allies, Shylun has a chance to draw in nearby mist, increasing your healing over time by 20%. When this effect ends, Shylun will release a wave of mist that heals all allies. So it's just a passive heal that will go off. Not bad. Right? There's nothing you can do about it. You can't really plan it out or anything like that. I noticed it going off sometimes, but it was always at the wrong time. And sometimes it worked well. It's just, what can you do? You can't activate, you can't do anything with it. And, of course, the Celestial Breath. When you activate Thunder Focus Tea, you exhale the Breath of Yulon, healing all allies within 12 yards for a heal over time, yeah, for over 3 seconds. Now, combo that with what we just fucking talked about. And let me tell you, on my 110, this was fucking awesome. It was so good. Because I had Spirit of the Crane, I had Rising Thunder, I'm doing Big Dick Fist Weaving, and when I'm resetting my Thunder Focus Tea, yeah, via Rising Thunder, boom, 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 had all sorts of fucking breaths going off and healing everybody around me. It was cool. It made a lot of sense. And it added a lot of weight to doing some fist weaving. And so it was a fully justified thing to be doing when other healers are taking care of just flat out casting circles of healing or hots or whatever. And I'm doing all this other shit, and it works really well as well. So I hope you get an idea of all this different stuff working together. Makes a really fun class. Extremely diverse, extremely versatile. How will it work out in a raid? We don't really know yet. That's generally coming down to HPS. But it's all these extra little things that work together in different scenarios that make the spec so cool. So let's jump in a dungeon. Hopefully. Yeah, we've been in for an hour now. We should hit up. Hopefully a tank will join soon. And we'll see it all in action. Alright, guys? So, if you don't want dungeon spoilers, you can leave now. And just trust me, this thing is so much fun. Alright, guys? Thank you. Bye-bye to those guys, and come join me in the next ones. Thank you for sticking with me, you wonderful, wonderful people, as we head into the Dark Heart Thicket. We've been here a couple of times. It's pretty noticeable by now that many people are queuing to avoid the more difficult dungeons. Yes, they are. I've obviously been doing dungeons a lot lately, like testing out classes and trying them in different specs, doing some heroics and all that kind of stuff. And the ones that I showed you, if you watch the dungeon stuff, where I was showing you like the Archway, it's really tough, but it's really good. The Vault of the Wardens, really good, really tough, and so on. People are actively dodging them now, which seems to be a thing. So that's okay. No big deal at all. What are we going to be doing here today? Well, this is, depending on how our group goes, this is a reasonably quick or slow dungeon. That makes sense, right? If the group doesn't know really what's going on, but it looks like our tank's pretty confident, then you will know what's going on here without much difficulty. What I want you to be aware of... Oh, you got aggro, bro. Here, have an enveloping mist. And then we'll trigger our soothing mist with our refuse, and everything goes nicely. Yeah. So there's a few things I want to show you. One, I think I probably overstated to some people the nature of how much extra shit you can do there. I mean, I leave already. I feel like I just said, give me a minute. Yeah, give me a minute. Leave the group. Leave the group. But that shouldn't be a big problem. It's DPS anyway. So I think just for a couple of moments, because it's not really the way I enjoy playing, is I'll show you that you can still be that standard healer, and you can use this soothing mist, yeah? And you can see, if I want to, I can absolutely just kind of run around, be chill, not do too much, keep the heals going, and be that general go-to healer. You absolutely do not have to push yourself and be a sort of crazy healer, especially in a 5-man. You can just let it be. I hope you noticed then that my Renew Mist just jumped as soon as my tank got to 100% health. So you can see I can do this. Yeah, I literally don't have my hands on the keyboard right now. In fact, if I wanted to, I can literally just keep walking around with my mouse without pressing any buttons at all. Look, I can just, this is how this thing works. Especially if you've got the talent where Soothing Mist will cast on the move. So that aspect still very much exists. However, I think that's terribly missing out on a huge portion of this, because you always have something to do with the Mistweaver, which is why it's so fucking fun. And I love it. So even if that is a very, very simple DPS rotation going in like this is not difficult trash, so we can afford to spend some time doing some DPS. That's awesome. That means that I'm never wasting my fucking time, and that's all I ask for. It really is. So you're going to see me do a lot of this, just jumping in and out, doing a bit of damage wherever possible, and just trying to generally find things to do, and take advantage of the glorious fact that, yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. You can be such a better member of your group. So in terms of gameplay, when you do jump into some DPS, sort of fist weaving, if you want to call it that, what are you actually doing? Well, a couple of things. One, you're using Tiger Palm to give yourself a buff that'll make the make your next Rising Sun kick or your Blackout kick do more damage. So you want to fit that into your rotation in that respect. Yeah. And the other aspect of it is using Blackout kick to reset Rising Sun kick. So you got very, 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 very super basics. Tiger Palm, Rising Sun kick. Tiger Palm, Blackout kick. Tiger Palm, Blackout kick. Yeah, while that's on cooldown, see if you've reset a proc or anything like that, and then just gaming on accordingly. That's all it is. Nothing tricky. No debuffs to manage. No Rising Sun kick debuff or anything like that. That's all good. These poisons don't do shit, by the way, so it's not really worth me dispelling them. And that's all it is. And it's really, really nice. It's just an extra bit of function that means that you can be invested in the gameplay. It doesn't matter how easy or difficult you find this content as you gear up and all that kind of stuff. There's always something extra to do. Now, hopefully what we will have at some point is, I mean, considering we're like formatting this right now, I'm pretty sure we will hit this moment where things get a little tricky. So let's dispel this first of all. And then we can start using our Thunder Focus Tea, okay? Now, Thunder Focus Tea is awesome for a couple of reasons. One, it gives you a very, very versatile playstyle all the time. Now, you're going to say, well, Thunder Focus Tea always really did that. I mean, it's not like it's a new idea that it does different things. No, you're absolutely correct. Let's throw down a big stun. Wah! As we get more and more trash. Cool. That kind of eases everything up on our group. Let's be a little focused. You can see now when I'm starting to manage my Renewing Mists a little better. Yeah? That we'll start getting a lot more Vivify procs, which is cool. Getting me some DPS. Don't need to do that. I'm also, for the sake of this, I'll show you my talent setup in a second as well, which I think is going to be pretty crucial to you guys understanding exactly what you're seeing in a lot of occasions. Keep the DPS going. We've got a nice Rising Sun Kick reset. Boom. Get out of here. Get out of here. And use our... So my talent setup for this, because you're going to see me doing like damage and stuff. I'm going to wait on my Thunder Focus Tea here, just so my Renewing Mist is back off cooldown there. So we can throw out several Renewing Mists. We've got another Warlock. That's fucking awesome. Oh, it just jumped to me as I was about to cast it. So I'm putting out several Renew Mists there. So this is my talent setup. So I'm going with Zen Pulse. What this does is I target it at the tank. It then AoEs everything around him. So here it is. Boom. You see the way it AoE'd around him? That's what Zen Pulse does. And for the amount of damage it does, it heals the tank. So it's a great little burst tank, especially in 5-mans. It's very, very cool for that scenario. Really like it. So coming out of here, we've got a nice Vivify proc. Cool. Thunder Focus Tea. Let's get a Renewing Mist on you. Renewing Mist on me, and then we'll dispel that. Now, you can use that Thunder Focus Tea in a whole fucking array of different, a whole myriad of different ways, is what I should say. So we can use it for instant cast Enveloping Mist. We can use it for free Vivify, should we need to spam some AoE healing, just to offset our mana. And you can do all those kind of different things with it. So we have all this choice when it comes to straight up healing. We still have various things. I'm also going to be taking Tiger's Lust for a little speed up for our tank, should I feel like this dungeon's going at a really solid pace. Yeah. Let's AoE heal. You see the way that AoE heal there? That Zen Pulse just healed our tank nicely without me bothering to having to do too much. Let's Thunder Focus Tea. A couple of Renewing Mists out. And you got to remember, because Vivify proc, this proc you're seeing in the middle of the screen means my Vivify is doing 50% more healing. The fact that it's only a 4% chance, but when you get loads of Renewing Mist ticking, that's more than enough, right? I mean, they've balanced it really nicely. So I think it's pretty cool on that respect. Getting me some DPS. You see, there's never a global cooldown fucking wasted. Let's stun these so it doesn't do the AoE interrupt. So that means our DPS is going to do a little bit more. All this shit is stuff that most people won't bother with. I get that. I fucking seriously get that. That's fine. Let's use our Thunder Focus Tea so we can get a couple of Renewing Mist Vivifies out. In fact, let's reset my Renewing Mist so I can actually throw that out and then get another Renewing Mist going for more Vivify procs, which is awesome. And then go straight back into Deeps. This just means that I am always engaged. And that's all I'm asking for. With a lot of healers that don't really have that benefit, and you're going to say, everybody has DPS. Yeah, but, like, you know, a fucking druid, it kind of, even if you have the Moonkid stuff, it falls down to, like, a very basic dot type approach. And just, like, Wrath, really. I mean, you get Star Surge. It isn't too bad, but this is better for me. But I've got to point out there, I favor melee playstyles, right? So that's something you've got to bear in mind. And when it comes to, like, doing what I feel is relatively weak source caster DPS, I'm nowhere near as interested, like, as just a player. So you've got to bear that in mind, that, yeah, other classes have aspects of this kind of stuff. This isn't new, by any means. But for me, it's preferable. It's much preferable. So we're going to throw out a lot of Renew Mist, because he's going to start AoEing the area, pretty much. And then we'll get back in and do some damage and speed up the boss. How this will bear out in Challenge Worlds, I don't know. I don't know. So Zen Pulse is much weaker here, as you can probably imagine, because it's based on AoE damage. Yeah, it's based on me being able to do some AoE. But that's fine. We're going to try and keep it on cooldown as much as possible. I'm obviously going to miss various cooldowns. Mainly just like put notifications on this bar. I mean, like paying attention. I saw someone say, you should pay attention to your bars. Actually, no, I completely disagree with that. From a good player standpoint, looking at your bars a lot is a really bad thing. Because if you're looking down here, I did some video on this probably like a year or so ago explaining why you should set up your UI in such a way and why top-end raiders have their UI set up in such a way. And it's to make sure your focus of attention is absolutely here. So I'm going to use my... I can use Shylon's Gift here. Here we go. And I got to talk about this more later. You're probably wondering, why aren't you using your artifact skill? And I'll explain later, really, what's going on with that. Oh, let's show Shiji. Like, our group's fine, but let's show him off. Off he goes. Look at this fucking bro. Pew, 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 pew. Fucking all over. Look at this guy. He's just, let's mark him, because he's fucking awesome. I love this dude. Just look at him go. He's fucking awesome. He's absolutely King Beast. He just lasts forever. He's going to last for the remainder of this fight. I guarantee it. He's going to be here for like, maybe he's going to disappear like at the very low end. But this guy is here to stay, and it's fucking awesome. I love this guy so much. Get out of that stuff, preacher. Get out of it. It's really cool. I just love that he's still going. Look, he's still there. You see him? And that is such a twist on healing cooldowns for me that lasts so long. They're usually like rather short and bursty to try and cope with like, well, the big healing intense phase is going to be quite a short period of time, so we should make the cooldown scene. He's just disappeared. He's just disappeared. Which is fucking so cool. So cool. And down you go. And I could have played that fight in so many different ways, depending on how you want to play the Mistweaver. I absolutely didn't need to do all that running around in melee and all that kind of shit. Didn't need to do that. Could have been a straight up healer. Could have been fine. I could have even gone full dark side and just done some crackling jade lightnings or whatever to try and contribute a little bit. It's nowhere near as fun as just throwing in some fist weaving. I'm not talented for fist weaving or anything like that, but it's actually no issue. What else have we got? We got Focus Thunder. So that means when I use my Thunder Focus Tea, I love this for 5-man's. Rising Thunder is alright. But I much prefer the Focus Thunder, so we get 2 uses of stuff while under Thunder Focus Tea. I don't know what they're doing, but have they pulled? You don't need to go this way. This way. Look, there's a path, bros. There's a path. We don't need to get tricky here. There's a path. I swear there was a shortcut. Nope. Goes round to the left. Nope. You're thinking of later on. I know what you're thinking of. I get you. Yeah, he does know his stuff. You have all these different choices, and I mean, compared to what I'm doing there, for me, like, doing this, it's not even in the same boat, right? It's not even in the same league of interest for me. Let's do a big AoE stun there. Get everyone stunned. Use our AoE. Now everyone's in there, so it heals the tank as well. And I love that. So let's talk a little bit then. I want to mention this then. In terms of Zen Pulse, how am I using it? One, I set the tank to a focus, which a lot of people do anyway. You don't have to. You can use different unit frames for that. Obviously, that's your choice. But I just set him to a focus. And then I have a macro that Zen Pulse is my focus. That's all I'm doing there. Nothing tricky, nothing no one else can manage with. So let's talk about Shylon's Gift then. Shylon's Gift. So Shylon's Gift, if I'm saying the name correctly, that's the way it's pronounced, or spelt anyway, at least in my mind, is you can see the number flowing up here. So you can see the spell down here. It's bound to E for me. That used to be my interrupt. RIP interrupt for Mistweavers, by the way. Fucking miss it so goddamn much. It's not even funny. And basically, these clouds are going to spawn. So you'll see them like, these are the clouds. You see these little fucking things here. I showed them earlier, but they do carry on through the dungeon. They don't seem to despawn. They don't seem to keep you in combat, which is cool. Right? That's something we can all sort of get behind that occurs. And the general idea is that it'll just build up to a big heal. What does that actually mean then? One, it's useless at the beginning of a fight, so if your tank runs in and gets absolutely hammered, you're going to be spamming fucking Enveloping Mist on him pretty much, right? I mean, a Fuse just isn't going to get the job done. Neither is Soothing Mist. It's not going to happen. So you're going to have to deal with that. Because it takes, I think, I double-checked it while I was waiting for this dungeon. In fact, this is the 3rd dungeon I've done on my Mistweaver since I recorded the first video, because the other dungeons fell apart really badly, and it was just a poor show. I even had Halls of Valor where the whole thing fell apart. I had three enhancement shamans in it. It was so weird. A hell of an experience, let me tell you. I might show some footage of that. I do have it recorded in a different video where it's kind of like a funsies video. But, having said that, the average queue time is like 3 hours, so I've done plenty more stuff on my Mistweaver while I was waiting, just getting some more experience, to say the least, is what I've been doing. Let's do an AoE heal. Didn't need the heal on the tank, but we've got it there. It's on a short cooldown, so we got some damage. And basically, Shylon's Gift for me is not something that I've catch myself using in this content. I did heroics on my Mistweaver earlier in the week. Barely used it then. Why? I have the tools at my disposal to not require a Mega Emergency Heal. That doesn't mean that it's a bad spell inherently, right? It's not a bad spell. It's pretty underwhelming. Got to say that, because all it does is it takes absolutely forever. It takes absolutely forever to build up. It's like a minute and a half to get it up to 12 stacks, which is the cap. And unfortunately, that means that I basically use it in absolutely dire consequence circumstances, because it takes so long for it to rebuild that I can't fit it into my rotation. Very much unlike a Holy Priest Miracles, okay? So if you've seen a Holy Priest in action, you might know what I'm talking about there, that Holy Priests have Miracles, which are very, very powerful single target heals, yeah? And what you do with them is try and get them on cooldown, essentially, because your other spells actually cause that cooldown to come back, like, quicker, so it resets it quicker, so you can use it again more and more and more. You have an AoE miracle and single target miracle and all that kind of shit. Get stunned on, friends. God, I wish I had charging Oxwave so fucking much. But that's generally the idea. So Shylon's Gift for me, in terms of gameplay now, In a raid, it'll get more use because people will be like dipping and you'll be trying to spot heal them. Although it's a 1.65 second cast. That's not the quickest in the world for like an instant. Like the Holy Priest miracles are instant cast. Yeah, they're an instant cast, just enormous heal. And if they have that cooldown, they'll snipe you all day, every day. There's no doubt about that. That's going to happen. And so you just need to bear that in mind, I guess, is that Shyland's Gift, for me, you might be thinking, you're not using Shyland's Gift enough. You're right, you're probably correct, but it's more about the scenario in which we want to use it. So, you see, like, Shyland's Gift, you might be like, use it now. And I'll use it now so you can see the amount of heal it gets. Like, that was like 200k. But the fact of the matter is, with Thunder Focus Tea giving me 2 charges, I could also give that guy 2 massive enveloping mists and not been in a situation that I'd have cared about at all. Good AoE scenario. I'm feared, but everybody's fine because we took care of it, because we're a good healer and we're being proactive and we're getting involved and we're doing all the good shit we're supposed to do. We're going to do some DPS to speed up the dungeon, and I'm doing all the fucking things that make this interesting. Even if I was doing trivial content, I would still have shitloads of stuff to do. All the time. Be it DPS switching around, planning, and just look at the different array of buttons I'm pressing. All the time. Hugely different. And that's what's cool about it, is you just have all these extra fucking choices of things to do with your spec and how you want to play it. And I think you can, that is a glorious thing. And people ask me, what do I mean by boring specs and stuff? Not this. Not this. Ripperoni. Got some help? I'll clear these. How good's that? Look at me. Fucking useful member of society. As Thomas the Tank Engine would say, I am a really useful engine. That's what I'm going to do. So what we'll do is about 50% of the way through. Ninja skills. Get out of here, buddy. We'll go ahead. Oh, he's got crushing grip. He's fine. Ow, you hit me, bro. Don't want to do that. Nobody wants to see that happen. No one wants to see me get hurt. Silly tank. Got some more renewing mist. Get enveloping mist on the tank. This is why, you can probably understand now why I really, for me personally, detest this soothing mist playstyle. Like, where you're literally encouraged to not press anything. I fucking hate it. Right, here's a good Shiji moment. Let's get Shiji on the case. He's not powerful, obviously. He lasts so long, there's no way this guy's going to be powerful, yeah? You kind of get that? There's just no fucking way that he's going to be powerful. He doesn't need to be. He's doing his job. He's fine. So in this scenario here, you might be wondering, how do you deal with this? Well, for me, what I do is I actually throw out a number of renewing mists. And I know that everyone's safe for the next few seconds. But all those renewing mists are going to start proccing Vivify. Yeah? Because we've got all these renewing mists ticking. We've got 4 ticking right now. And each tick has got a 4% chance of giving Vivify. I know, because it's going to be reasonably balanced, that we're going to get some Vivifies off the back of that. And that's going to equal up some AoE healing for when we need it. That's absolutely all it needs to do. GG's still going, by the way. Fucking gangster that he is. He's so gangster. I love him. I love him so much. Alright, let's throw out some more renewing mists. Let's throw out a 3 buffed Vivify. Get another renewing mist going. And keep going. So I can use that in a number of different ways, obviously. Because I could throw out like 3 renewing mists. Or I could throw out a renewing mist followed by an instant cast enveloping mist. Followed by another renewing mist because we didn't proc the cooldown. You could do all these kind of choices with that. And just that one button alone. And that's all it takes. I think some people get confused about what I'm talking about with this stuff. Is that one button alone? Do you want to see how bad revival is, guys? Here you go. Boom. Tank's didn't, the health didn't even move. Boom. Headshot, right? Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's funny or it's sad, depending on your perspective. It really is. It's funny or it's sad. But I like it. So, off the back of this, we're going to just heal everybody up because he's going down anyway. Get a load of renewed mist going should we need to top anybody off. GG's finally called it a day. After a long day's work, that lad deserves his day off. I'll appreciate it. I appreciate you. I really do. Get everybody up. Here we go. We'll Shilo's gift the tank. See what we can get out of it. Bump. 230k. I mean, that in itself is reasonably underwhelming. I think so, anyway. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. People might find that cool. I breathed on me. No! Don't do it. Don't do it. Instant cast on you. Let's do a big Vivify on him as well. Yeah. Kind of suspected the AoE was coming. Renewing mist out again. I'm back into doing some stuff. Not a point where I just not thinking about what to do next. How can I benefit my group in the most effective way? That's all I'm thinking with my Mistweaver all the time, and that is why I've enjoyed it so much. Is I have all these choices. Are we doing the optional boss? What are you doing? You're the tank. You decide. We're not doing the optional boss. The curse of Darkheart Thicket strikes once again, friends. We will do less bosses for the sake of efficiency on the alpha. But I get it. I mean, oh, we're going to get a big AoE here. Look, let's watch this AoE in a sec. Let's wait till he takes some damage if he's gone in. Oh, He killed them all already. Never mind. We'll just do it for AoE damage next time then. How's that? That sounds pretty good to me. What I want to show you is the Zen Pulse and how well it works when you're in like a 5-man environment where there's lots of trash and stuff. It works so well as an extra thing to think about. And this is all it's about for me regularly. It's just like, can I think about what I'm doing next? Cool. All right. I'm thinking about it. I'm not just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not just pressing Renewing Mist. I'm just letting that take care of it. Let's check Netflix. Let's see what's on Pornhub. And, oh, wow, the new fucking blah, blah, blah movie's out. That's excellent. Let's gather them up, gather them up, gather them up. Big Zen Pulse. Boom. Not a lot of damage, but contributing, mate. Contribution. That's all it matters. You see, did enough as, it's like I Tiger Palm them all. That's more than enough for me. That's all I need. More than enough. But I was thinking about it as a healer's perspective. I was thinking about it not in terms of its damage, but what the healing you can put out on the tank in this AoE scenario. And obviously you get lots of AoE scenarios which are dangerous, and therefore this makes way more sense. Do I wish Eminence was still a thing? If I was going to make any complaints then, let's talk about them. One, this Soothing Mist playstyle just doesn't work for me, but it's a personal thing. Some people really enjoy, and you guys will know, you get into many, many dungeons where the healer just heals, and that's it. He just does his healing thing, and he'll wait till you take damage, and that's about it. Right? And a lot of people see that as like, well, I'm a healer, I'm not supposed to be doing other shit. Which is wasted for me, but I'm not going to say that's wrong. Ooh, see the heal that we got off that from that Zen Pulse? Fucking awesome. So good. Let's get in here with a big fucking spin. Spin kick. Spin to win. Beep. Backwards roll. For skills. For style points. What are you tanking? I can see you've got the red, you've got aggro thing. You can have an enveloping mist for your troubles, because you were tanking for quite a long time there, Rogie. And that makes me feel sad. Another AoE. Bump. Just dropping it in. Healing the tank at the same time. That's all I need to do. Oh, we went into the whelps. Many whelps. Handle it. Let's pop some more whelps. Let's get some big AoE on. I'm purposely going into the whelps here. For the purposes of testing Zen Pulse. There we go. It wasn't the most impressive one ever. Those whelps don't have any health. But still, bet it was good shit. I didn't spawn those ones though, so that's okay. So I can let myself slide on that one. And dropping in and out and doing healing. So I think the seasoned Mistweavers will really appreciate that this still exists as a thing. The seasoned Mistweavers were always trying to fit this in. And to fit in some fist weaving wherever possible. Contributing to the dungeon or the raid in more ways than just being a flat-out healer. Yeah? And that sense of it's a worthwhile contribution. It's satisfying, it's fun. It doesn't need to be super in-depth. It doesn't need to have all sorts of procs and blackout kicks and have a full fucking stance dedicated to it. It doesn't need that. Sure, I kind of preferred that, but that's a personal thing. I'm absolutely fine with this. Absolutely fine with it. Just dropping in, dropping out. Not trying to work in some extra style of play, and it's fine. Not trying to convince myself that I can do this for leveling. No, not at all. I mean, it's there. You could do it, obviously, right? Don't get me wrong. You could absolutely do it. Is it efficient? No, absolutely not. It's more of a contribution to the dungeon another way. Probably add something like, what, 3% DPS to the dungeon at best, right? We're not a disc priest. We're not supposed to be working that way. But either all, it's more than enough. More than enough for good fun times. So, let's get in here. I don't really want... I don't like the way the tank positions this in most cases that I do this dungeon. Because you're going to... Like, that's, you know... The welt positioning here is always a bit of a pisser. You know what I can cheese this with? Soothing Mist. Look at that. Casting on the move, bro. And still healing. How fucking overpowered am I? You get wrecked to the healers. What I'm purposely trying to not discuss... Oh, this is the extra boss. I'm a fucking idiot. Is the raid performance. It's too early to tell. And honestly, I think at this point, nice Zen Pulse. The fact that we're AoEing, get a big Zen Pulse off the back of that. Nice. I just don't know where it's going to be right now. The logs are all over the place. Artifact power plays such a huge part in your overall performance that it's really, really, really like a mute point at this stage. It's like it's not going to be beneficial to anybody for me to start talking about that stuff. So I'm just going to ignore it for now. We will look at it later down the line in Legion, absolutely. But for now, it's just not worth it. Let's get Shiji doing something. He's had his nice rest. He's done his business. Oh, Zen Pulse for days. Boom. Yeah. Let's give an AoE stun to these guys as well. Why? Because we're a useful member of our group. And people notice when we're here. And that's a good thing. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Some people like to be very anonymous in WoW. Especially recently, it's like, I want to be a face in the crowd. No! You don't want to be a face in the crowd. You want to be the gangster. I went to enveloping Mist that guy, but my Zen Pulse actually healed him up. Probably in combination with Death Strike, obviously, but still. So So good. And you'll notice again, Shan's gift, I mean, this is easy content. This is normal mode content, right? It's not supposed to be super hard. But I can say that even in the heroics, which I guess that's a management of expectations. Some people probably just believe that, is it you? Yeah, it's you. You just dragged a breathing dragon right through my face. That was you. That was absolutely you. If you're not sure, yeah, that was you. Let's go with the Shan's gift then. Here we go. Badunk, 153k. Exciting times. Such a waste of time. I'm also not giving Essence Bomb, but I wanted to show you the animation. Whee! Isn't that cool? Isn't it? It looks so cool. How useful is it? I don't know. But it's cool nonetheless. I mean, I like the spell. Whee! I really like it. It's the Chi. Which one is it called? You know the one. Not Chi Burst. Not Chi Wave. Is it Chi Wave? Whichever one does that little firework fucking Jubilee marble thing. You know the one. That's what it's like, but loads of it. It looks really cool. I really like it. Pew, 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 pew. It just looks awesome. Is your AoE heal? That's really cool. It's so much better than like Circle of Healing or Healing Rain. At least for me anyway. But again, that's something that's down to your personal preference. I've already seen the wars based on... I saw the Demonology video comments. It was like a war breaking out about whether or not... Beholder was better than Inquisitor, and everyone was like, well, I prefer this, I prefer that. Let's have a fight about it. It's like, well, you both prefer different ones. What are you going to fight about? Really? Is this a fight? I don't think so. But you can see it even after I use that Shan's gift. We're only up to 2 charges now. It only works when you're in combat, so anything outside of combat, so you're not going to get the job done there. Use that as Pulse. And go for some AoE. Let's throw a heal on this guy. We don't need that Vivify proc. It's not going to get any benefits. That Vivify, of course, is an AoE heal. I'm sure you should probably know by now if you're this far into the video, so I don't need that. They could maybe add some choice with that. That would be interesting. Let's talk about some other things then. So, yeah, I probably touched on it earlier. The Soothing Mist gameplay just doesn't work for me at all. Which I think Summon Jade Serpent Statue could easily fill in for. If I could get Summon Jade Serpent Statue, and that changed, like, my Fuse, I would gladly sacrifice my Fuse to literally be a marker now for my Jade Serpent Statue. I think that's a cool decision to make. So I could pick people, mark them, and it just channel in a steady stream of healing to them. Obviously not a great deal, but something nonetheless that would just go into them, and I could leave it up for the fight, similar to how you do with Bacon, yeah? Some people might say that's really skillless, Preacher. Is Bacon skillful? No, it's not. You just drop it on the tank at the beginning of the dungeon, you probably never remember out it again. You just heal other people. So something along those lines would make, at least let me see it happening, because right now I'm like purposely not bothering with it, because it just doesn't work into how I enjoy playing this playstyle, and I think a lot of people might see this and be like, oh, okay, I can do more. It is a shame that we haven't got interrupts, but Soothing Mist just feels like such a wasted aspect of this spec right now that it's irritating, because it's a cool spell. I really like the animation on it. I think it's awesome. I like the idea of this ticking heal that's not overpowered, but I still have to prop up with other skills and abilities. But it just makes Jade Serpent Statue completely useless for my terms of gameplay. I can't imagine a world where I would take Summon Jade Serpent Statue. And that, because it relies on me taking doing Soothing Mist to get the benefit for it. And I only get 50% of the benefit for it as well. So in that world, it's not for me. It doesn't make any sense. I would also like, I know suggested that would be, make Soothing Mist an actual button that I could choose from. Or just tie it to a fuse. So it doesn't link to Enveloping Mist and Vivify. Because, as you can probably see, I don't really cast Vivify on targets that I would want to stay channeling into for a long time for a very gentle heal, because you're usually casting it on the DPS for the most part, because you want to group heal, which means the Soothing Mist element of it is really fucking irritating. It just doesn't make any sense, so I'm going to have to do some spot healing here. Now, I'm going to try and be a little bro about this, and stay next to our guy who's got the silencing effect. So hit Feed the Weak on him, let's throw an Enveloping Mist on, let's Thunder Focus Tea, throw out some more Renew Mist so we have some more good shit. That's what we were hoping for, dispel that. Bump. Ooh, you got battered in the back there. As soon as possible. The last thing I want to do, I think this is probably a more accurate way of stop running, retard. Okay. Bad caps. Let's get Shiji going. Let's dispel this. That's kind of funny. Oh no! Boom. Oh, he's lost the debuff anyway. Oh, never mind. I did my backwards roll, my cool backwards roll, which is all that needed to happen. So that thing there, it silences you if you're not like stood next to somebody. But as obviously I want to be in like melee range, so I'll pay attention if the range need that, and I'll go and be their buffer zone. And that'll be generally how I play that. Right, now we're going to target switch to over here. I'm going to use this opportunity as soon as possible to get some Renew Mist ticking on everybody. It's about to turn up in pace, so let's Renew Mist everybody. Like this. That's fishing for Vivifies in the next few seconds. So you still have that preemptive style of healing. That's what I'm doing there, is I'm just fishing for Vivifies, essentially. Just trying to get lots of Renew Mist ticking. They only work when, I believe the mechanic only works, like proccing Vivify, when Renew Mist actually heals somebody. So full health people is not worth. But obviously you can see how the AoE steps up here. But, we haven't got Shiji, but we have got super awesome revival, though. That's very exciting. There we go. Stop moving. Spell that. And be a good friend of the channel. Yeah! Gonna focus here again. Let's fish out some more Renew Mist. Just let our Renew Mist do its job. Let it do its job. No need to worry. See, Zen Pulse gets a real secondary role here at this point. Whoop. Whop, 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 whop. Whop, 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 whop. And we'll all stand next to you as friends. Aren't we cool? Aren't we good to each other? How good's this? Yeah? We're a team. Let's use our essence font. Because we're a team. Yay! Oh, we've all made a little crew now. This is nice. This is cozy. I like this. I wish I was healing. But again, I'm being a useful member of society in a different way. And I could get on board with that. For myself. A nice little tea group. And you know what? I could do some crackling jade lightning anyway. I don't need to move. No, it doesn't do anything in normal. I'll fill in as a Sith Overlord for this. Which is cool. Again, it's just another aspect of the gameplay I can do. Not a great one, but it's something else I can do to think about. I could be a derper and just start channeling Soothing Mist. I could do this. But derper's probably offensive to guys who like healing that way. But I find this, like right now I've got my arms folded. I'm not joking. Clap, 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 clap. This is what I mean. I don't like this. Oh, I got to dispel something. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll follow that up with an enveloping mist and I'll take my hands off. Now, part of that, of course, is normal isn't dangerous, right? Let's not be stupid. I'm just trying to point out that this Soothing Mist playstyle is exactly like that, and that is the weakest part of this because this spec has so much more shit to do. It feels like it's shoehorned in for guys who don't like, exactly for that reason. It's like guys who don't like anything else. And down goes our boss. The Mistweaver Monk, so versatile, just so fun. Always something to do. You can play it relaxed. You can play it intensely. You can go ham. You can go fucking super chill. Everything I want to see. The Mistweaver Monk, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.